Junebug is one of the most popular colors ever made. It's a big fish catcher, and it's usually one of the first colors every bait maker tries to make. But here's the thing, not all Junebug colors are created equal, and the glitter you choose completely changes the look of your bait. So in today's video, we are testing 5 different green flakes, all in the same color Junebug pigment, and at the end, you tell me which one looks the best. Let's get into it. Alright, we've got all our glitters lined up today that we'll be using, as well as the pigment. And the pigment we are going with is the Black Grape from Lowerworks. It's just the pigment that I started off with when I was making my Junebug baits. For our glitters today, we got the 0.015 and the 0.04 size, which we'll be using in all our baits. On the left-hand side here, we got the Kelly Green, which is the most bright and vibrant green color we got. And then on the side of that, we got Evergreen, which is a little bit of a darker green with a little bit more blue tint to it. And then on the side of that, we've got Emerald Green. That's a little bit darker with a little bit more blue as well. Teal has by far the most amount of blue out of all of these glitters. And then the Moss Green on the right-hand side is their darkest green that I found, and it has no blue in it. So I'm very curious to see how all these look in the Junebug pigment side by side. So let's get our cups into the microwave, heat them up, and then start mixing. All right, guys, we got all 5 cups ready to go. Again, we're going to be using the Lowerworks Black Grape 203 pigment. I normally use about 36 drops per cup, but we got half cups here today, so we're going to do about 18 drops. So let's just add those in really quick and get them mixed up. All right, there we go. Let's mix these all up. There we go. This makes a very good Junebug color. Got a lot of those blues, a lot of purples. Love it. All right, so these are all mixed up now. I'm just going to pop these back into the microwave just to heat them back up a little bit. And then we will add all our glitters. And I've got 2 of my 5-inch stick baits from Angling AI in my vise over here. So we're just going to do 2 at a time. I'll do the first 2 on camera with you guys. And I'll do the other ones off camera. And then I'll just open them up and we'll do a side-by-side comparison of all of them. So let's pop these back in the mic. All right, we're heated back up. So we're going to start off with adding our glitters now. I'm going to do the Kelly Green first, and that is just the bright, vibrant green I was showing you guys earlier. So I'm going to do both sizes here. I like a lot more of the small flake in mine, so I'm going to do a 1/16 of a teaspoon for the 0.04 size, and then 3/16 for the 0.015. And I'm also doing this in a half cup, just so you guys know. So let's add these in really quick before this sets up. So I've got our Kelly Green. I'm going to do 1/16 of the 0.040. 3/16 of the 0.015. All right, on to the next one. We're going to do the Evergreen, the same stuff, same ratios. All right, 3/16. Next up, we've got the Emerald Green. All right, now we are moving on to the Teal, which is that more bluish one I was showing you guys earlier. All right, and the last one is the Moss Green. A nice dark green one I showed you guys. All right, so that is all the glitters. Let's get these mixed up. Let's hope they're still warm enough. All right, there we go with the Kelly Green. There we go. Definitely setting up on us, but you can still see it there. There we go. That Kelly Green still really sticks out, nice and bright and vibrant, even through that pigment there. But there we go. I like that one a lot. All right, now we've got the Evergreen. It's got a little bit more of that blue in it. There we go. See, definitely not as bright as that Kelly green there. And then that pigment almost makes it look even a little bit more blue than it does. It's just inside the bag too. But all right, that is the Evergreen. Now this is the Emerald Green. This is what I started off with when I was making my Junebugs. See that there? That green flake almost turns like a lot more bluish in that pigment there. But very similar to the Evergreen. Just I think it looks a little bit more blue than the Evergreen does. Alright, and now this is the Teal, so that's a very bluish color. Let's see how this one looks. There we go. There's that teal there. You can hardly even tell that's a green flake, but it is. Looks a lot more blue than the other ones. Still like it a lot though. And lastly, we've got that moss green, which I'm very excited to see this one. There we go. That actually didn't change the color that much. Still has that nice dark green color effect to it, which I actually really like. I feel like you don't see that too much in a Junebug with that darker green. I feel like you normally see that bluish or that nice bright green color, but the nice dark green looks really good. Alright, so that is all of them. I am going to throw the first two back in the mic, and that is the Kelly green and the Evergreen. We're going to inject them into the 5-inch stick baits we got here, and then I'll do the other ones off camera. We'll open them up, and then we'll see a side-by-side comparison. So let's get going. All right, guys, we are finally ready to inject, so let's go. All right, we're doing the Kelly green first. There we go. Trying to get in the other mold. All right, and then here is the Evergreen. Let's get it. All right. Those are the first two. Let's top these off really quick. All right. So I'll give those a few minutes to cool off. I'll open those up in front of you guys, and then I'll inject the other ones off camera, and then I'll open those, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. Look at that. Even just from the sprues, you can see the difference. That Kelly green almost made that Junebug pigment like greenish, and that bright green still comes through. Yeah, we got that Evergreen, and it's still got that lot more purple color to that pigment, and then that glitter there looks a lot more bluish. But it's crazy. They're both greens, but completely different looks. All right, our molds are cooled off, so let's see how they turned out. We'll start off with the Kelly green here. I'll show you guys on this front camera. Oh yes, look at that. How nice and bright green these are. That looks awesome. Yeah, I love that. That looks awesome. I love having a lot of glitter in my Junebug. I don't know about you guys, but definitely like having a lot of glitter, but nice color there. So now we've got the Evergreen. So this should be a little bit more bluish looking, or purple for the glitter. See if we can get these on one side here. Alright, there we go. Look at that. Way less bright than the other one. So, you can tell that the glitter really did not change the color of the pigment nearly as much. Here's a side-by-side of the two. Look how nice and green these are just from that bright green flake. Compared to this one, that pigment's still a nice dark purple looking color. Got a little bit of blue in there. And then that glitter really didn't change it that much. And the actual glitter itself looks more bluish than it did when I was just sitting out in the package. So look how big of a difference just from the flake. Absolutely crazy, but super cool to see this. I'm going to inject the other ones really quick, and then we'll go side by side of all 5. Here we've got the emerald green. There we go. Definitely looking a lot more similar to that evergreen there, but I think this one actually has, the pigment actually overall looks a little bit different. Here you can see side by side. It's a little more green actually. This one's got a little bit of a more purplish, bluish tint to it for the actual pigment, but the flake in here I feel like looks even more blue than this one does. So, but yeah, still just a small change, but makes big differences when you actually inject the bait. So here we've got the teal glitter, which is that most blue looking glitter I showed you guys earlier. There we go. Nice. Alright, let's open up our last one, and we'll get a side-by-side of all of them. Alright, here we go with the last one. This is the moss green. There we go. Look at that. They kept that dark purple looking color there, but that green actually really comes through. It doesn't really affect that color of that flake. So I actually really like that. I'll show you guys up front here, but take a look. Nice dark purpley bluish color, and that nice dark green flake actually really comes through nicely. So that's all of them. I'm going to show you guys really quick side by side, and we will decide together which one's our favorite. Here they are, all side by side. As you can see, that bright green really changed that color of the first one there. Much more of a bright green. Even that pigment got changed a lot. These other ones look pretty similar, but even these subtle changes, hopefully you can see this on camera, but this one is definitely the least dark out of all 3 of these. These two look very similar actually. Once you put this evergreen in the pigment, it actually looks really similar to the teal there. But the glitter for the emerald green looks a lot more bluish in there. And then I think my favorite one actually would surprisingly be the moss green, because I really like that dark purple color there, but the green actually comes through really nicely. Like, it doesn't change the color of that green. Unlike that Kelly green over here, it really changed the color of that the actual pigment, which I don't mind, but I would want this probably a little bit darker if that green is going to change the pigment that much. But let me know down in the comment section down below, which one's your favorite? Really curious, honestly, just to see what you guys say. But definitely a cool little experiment here, so super cool. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this gave you guys a better idea of what your favorite glitter might be in your own Junebug. And if you guys want to see a video where we test out several different pigments for some Junebug, then let us know down in the comment section, and we'll make sure to get around to it. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to like and subscribe, as we've got a whole list of awesome videos lined up for you guys. And if you guys want to see some of our most recent color matches, you can see that playlist right here.